It turns out you actually host about 1.3 bacterial cells for every single human cell. And, well, get this. The genes just in your gut microbiome, they outnumber your entire human genome by like 150 times.
It's truly staggering, isn't it? That sheer genetic potential.
Exactly. It's not just about, lots of tiny bugs. It's like this whole other layer of genetic identity we're just starting to grasp. So today we're doing a deep dive into this human microbiome. We're really moving past the old germ theory idea.
Right, thinking of them just as invaders.
Yeah, and seeing this incredible community more as an essential symbiotic organ, basically your extended genome.
A very good way to put it.
Our mission, then. Let's try and unpack what it is, where it lives, what it actually does for your health.
And crucially, what happens when things go wrong, when it's out of balance.
Right, and what really shapes it in the first place.
Well, starting with that extended genome idea, it's fascinating because it's not just about bacteria, though they're a huge part.
Okay.
It's a whole dynamic community. We've got fungi, archaea, those really unique single-celled organisms, and even viruses, especially bacteriophages.
Phages, right, the viruses that infect bacteria.
Exactly. And it's their collective genetic material, the metagenome, that gives us this immense functional power. Things our human bodies, well, they just can't do alone.
So it's not just numbers, it's the capabilities they bring. And you mentioned functional redundancy before we started. What's that about?
Ah, yes. That's really key for resilience, Functional redundancy means that lots of different microbial species can actually perform similar vital roles.
Like making certain compounds.
Precisely. Like producing short-chain fatty acids. So if one particular group of microbes isn't doing so well, others can often step in and pick up the slack. It helps keep the whole system stable.
That makes a lot of sense. Okay, so we've got this incredible extended genome working away. Where do they actually live? Are they just in the gut?
The gut is definitely the metropolis. It's the most diverse, the most densely populated. We're talking maybe 500 to 1,000 species, trillions and trillions of microbes.
Wow.
But they're not only there, they're on your skin, definitely in your mouth, their oral cavity, and even, believe it or not, in your lungs.
Yeah, I was reading that. Lungs aren't sterile, which is kind of mind-blowing compared to what we used to think.
Absolutely. It's a real paradigm shift.
And these different locations, they have unique communities, right? Like different neighborhoods.
That's a great analogy. Each site has its own unique microbial biogeography. It's shaped by the local environment, temperature, pH, oxygen levels, you name it. And over time, your personal microbiome, especially, say, in your gut and on your skin, it develops this stable, unique signature.
Like a fingerprint.
Very much like a fingerprint. And this raises a big question. Do these separate communities talk to each other, affect the whole system?
And the answer is?
A definite yes. Think about the gut-brain axis. That's probably the most famous example right now. The communication between your gut microbes and your brain is profound. It influences mood, stress, even cognition.
It's just amazing how much they do. Let's talk superpowers. Digestion seems like a big one.
Oh, indispensable. Absolutely crucial. Your microbes break down stuff like complex carbohydrates and plant fibers, cellulose, for instance, that our own digestive enzymes just can't touch.
So they're like our little digestive helpers.
Exactly. Plus, they synthesize essential vitamins for us, like vitamin K, several B vitamins, and they produce those critical short-chain fatty acids, like butyrate, that fuel our gut cells and influence metabolism. They can even affect food cravings.
Right, cravings too. Okay, and what about the immune system? I hear that's huge.
It is monumental. Something like 70% of your entire immune system is located right there in the gut.
70%?
Yeah, and your microbiome is actively training that immune system, basically from birth, teaching it to tell the difference between friendly microbes, the commensals, and harmful pathogens.
So it helps prevent the immune system from overreacting, like with allergies or autoimmune diseases.
That's the idea. It promotes immune balance, or homeostasis.
Okay, this keeps getting deeper. The brain connection, you mentioned neurotransmitters.
Yes, gut microbes are actually involved in making key neurotransmitters, things like serotonin, the feel-good one, and GABA, which helps calm things down.
Wow.
So imbalances in the gut microbiome have been linked pretty strongly now to things like anxiety, depression, even neurodegenerative conditions like Parkinson's.
Incredible. And besides all that, they protect us too.
They do. It's called colonization resistance. Basically, the good guys take up space and resources, making it harder for pathogens to get a foothold.
Like occupying the real estate.
Exactly. Plus, they help strengthen the gut barrier itself, physically and chemically, and some even produce their own natural antimicrobial compounds.
Okay, so this is clearly a delicate, vital balance. What happens when it shifts? What's that called?
We generally call that dysbiosis. It's essentially an imbalance in the community, often meaning less diversity, maybe an overgrowth of certain types, and altered function.
And that has real health consequences.
Oh, absolutely. It's directly linked to the development, the pathogenesis of numerous diseases. Think about C. Difficile infections, nasty stuff. Fecal microbiota transplants, FMTs, which basically restore a healthy microbiome, can have cure rates over 90%.
Wow, that's definitive.
Very. Dysbiosis is also heavily implicated in IBD, inflammatory bowel diseases, obesity, type 2 diabetes, autoimmune conditions, even certain types of cancer. It shows your microbiome can be a really powerful biomarker.
A biomarker for risk, diagnosis, maybe even how you'll respond to treatment.
Exactly. All of the above.
So given how important this balance is, what are the biggest things that shape your unique microbiome? I always hear diet is number one.
Diet is huge. Probably the most significant factor, and one that can change things relatively quickly. A diverse diet, rich in plants, especially high in different kinds of fiber.
The stuff the microbes eat.
Right. That promotes a diverse and robust microbial community. On the flip side, diets high in processed foods, sugar, they can push things towards imbalance pretty fast.
Makes sense. What else has a big impact? Medications?
Oh, definitely. Particularly antibiotics. They can be lifesavers, obviously, but they exert a profound, rapid hit on microbial diversity, like a wildfire.
Wipes a lot out.
It does. And while the microbiome often tries to recover afterwards, it frequently doesn't return completely to its original state. There can be long-term alterations. Plus, this contributes to the whole crisis of antimicrobial resistance.
Serious downstream effect.
Yeah.
And lastly, what about early life? How critical is that period?
Incredibly critical. From even before birth through infancy and early childhood, factors like how you were delivered, C-section versus vaginally, whether you were breastfed or formula-fed, even your mother's health and microbiome during pregnancy, all these things lay down the foundation. They really shape your lifelong microbial trajectory and potentially your long-term health. So when you step back, the human microbiome really is this indispensable, deeply integrated part of us, almost like another organ, acting as this vast, extended genome that touches, well, nearly every aspect of our physiology.
It really changes how you think about yourself, doesn't it? So the final thought for you listening. If your microbiome is as unique as your fingerprint and it has such a profound impact on your health, just imagine the future. Picture healthcare where treatments, diets, maybe even wellness plans are precisely tailored to your specific microbial profile. What kinds of possibilities does that open up for truly personalized health and well-being? Something to think about.